In World War One, the age of the tank was obsolete until about 1917 to 1918. Germany builds its first tank, the monster, the A7v. How's it going, guys? Welcome back to another video. It is me, the Review Master 19 here, and today we're going to be discussing and taking a look at my Papercraft 1/72 scale A7v. So, to start the video, hope you guys are doing well. This is the A7v Sturmpanzerwagen. Now, it is a World War I German heavy tank. It is armed with one 57mm cannon, or gun, and it has 6 MG08 machine guns. So, the A7v was named by us, the British, or the Tommies in World War I, as the toaster, because one, it looks very much like a toaster, and these things had very poor cross-country ability. They would just roll over. So this specific A7v had standard 18 bolt armor. Well, that's what the A7v had, but this is Nixe, I believe, or Nixe, and took part at Blitz at Villers-Britannex on the 24th of April, 1918. Yep. So, interesting fact about the A7v, it was very dangerous indeed. I mean, it had a big gun. There was an instance, I believe, where it was the Battle of Cherbourg or something like that. I can't remember, but I know there were Mark IV or Mark V male tanks, and then there was Mark female tanks. And the male tank have the big guns like the Pounders, and then the females have the Hotchkiss machine guns. So the female is the machine gun variant, and the male is the big tough boy, should we say. I don't believe there were female variants of the A7v, but its main gun was a 57mm Norfolk gun, I think. I think it was a Norfolk gun. Maybe I'm getting confused with another, but I know it was a 57mm gun. And this could take out a Mark 4 or 5 tank. It could take out a Renault FT17. I don't think these would come across them. Tanks were very rare, and at the time of this release, 20 were planned. Only 18 were built, and there is only one real A7v, all the rest are replicas. They've got a replica at the Bovington Tank Museum, but the real A7v is in an Australian museum in a bubble or some sort of container called Mephisto, and it was captured by the Australian Regiment, I believe. If I get it wrong, let me know in the comments. So the A7v was a tracked vehicle, and it was a lot better than the Mark IV or Mark V tank, because of its tracks. So its tracks, it was better because it could go at least 9 miles per hour, whether the Mark IV or Mark V could only go maybe 5 miles per hour, or I don't know, 6 maybe. So it's an interesting fact to know. You have these doors on each side for entry, and the maximum crew of the A7v was either 16 with 10 infantrymen or 20. 18 to 60 men would usually be in here, 16, not 60. And these would be hatches where they could open to see the track. The track had a bogie suspension system, and the commander's hatch was here. This would open, and then this bit would push in and slide. They could also open these hatches to obviously gain vision, because the driver would be sitting on the right side and the commander would be on this side. And you have these vents here which would open because the gases, when they fire the 57mm gun, they have the rounds, and all the rounds were stowed in. Unlike World War II tanks, this armour is very, very strong. I think it's, let's have a look, 18mm bolt armour. So it was very good on, you know, mud and stuff, and, well, it wasn't, but it was good at, like, just going across usual terrain. But when it hit the trenches, it would get stuck or they'd have a tendency to roll over because they're top heavy. But the big gun, it could move. I've just broke my model. But anyway, so the gun could move left or right and swivel. But in World War II, the first turret rotating tank was the Renault FT-17, which we will build one day. But the A7v, to fire at your target, you had to move the tank. And you had to do that with the Mark IV or Mark Vs. With the Renault FT-17, it was just the turret tank, so you could turn your turret and fire. It was a light tank in French. Anyway, so we're talking about the A7v. The big thing about the A7v is the interesting mechanism for advancement. So they were pretty advanced during World War One because the commander actually had a little light inside that would go white or red. White to tell the loaders when to, or the commander when to fire and when to load. So red to fire, white to load. So it was really interesting. Very dangerous tank. You got all these ports here. These could open, this can open, this can open. You got these hatches here for small arms defense. And they actually made a Flammenwerfer variant, but I don't believe it was made. Then there was a heavy version with a high explosive cannon of some sort. But yeah, really interesting tank. If you can even call it a tank, it was one of the first generations of German tanks. Unfortunately, not many saw action. Mainly the Germans took and destroyed, captured the Mark Vs or Mark IVs, and they'd turn them into these tanks, because these tanks were a lot more heavy, top heavy, and difficult to live in. Anyway, guys, if you liked the quick little video of the A7v, please like and share and subscribe, and I shall see you in the next video.